The information shared during this live stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. All trades, ideas, and strategies discussed are my personal opinions and are not recommendations to buy or sell any securities. Trading involves risk, and you should always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. You are solely responsible for your own trading results.
Top of the morning, traders, and happy Friday, April 24th, and welcome to the most value packed live trading show, where we live trade, break down charts, cover high impact events, and talk trader mindset. Hope everyone had a great day yesterday and is ready to kick off another opportunity filled day. Today marks the end of the week. Today marks Ramp Down Friday. A lot of the heavy lifting from this week has coming to an end. So again, size down today, guys. That's best practice. Don't take as many trades. Look for high quality setups. If you see a trade, define your risk, allocate your risk, and then let the probabilities play out. If you see nothing, don't force any trades. We did see SPY make an all-time high. In the pre-market, we did see semis make all-time highs as well. The Qs are looking to open up at all-time highs. So we are seeing some moves there, and the Dow is just kind of stuck in the mud, can't really make that movement. So a nice little gap up on SPY awaits us above that weekly open, and now we are looking to open things up above that 710. So the infamous 710 comes back into play once again. The infamous 710 comes back into play once again. Let this thing open up. What happened yesterday stays in yesterday. What happens today stays in today. If you're a first-time viewer, make sure you subscribe. Long-time viewers, take the next steps. Join our community. The link is pinned up to the top. There's 7 spots left on the April enrollment, so make sure to use the code April if you want to join our community. And we'll talk about this later. We'll talk about this later as well. The webinar for tomorrow will be moved to 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, 4 p.m. Eastern. Once we get to 100 likes, I will share the link to the delay-free, ad-free stream. 150 likes, we will do the giveaway. All right, so make sure to like the video as you're coming in. And we are officially open, and we're officially kicking off Friday. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, so we're officially open. A nice little gap up to open things up. We're above that weekly open. We're above that 710. So keeping a close eye on the 710. How do we play with the 710? All right, what kind of relationship do we have with the 710? The pre-existing relationship has been very volatile. We get above it, get below, get above it. Not a lot of respect. So let's see if we have some kind of respect for this 710. Right out the gate, we're seeing the Q sell off slightly. Qs did open up at all-time highs. Qs come into that 656.92 for that retest. Pay attention to that. As far as individual names are concerned, we are starting to see Meta taking a nosedive. Okay, Tesla, nosedive, wicking back up. Google, nosedive. SoFi, nosedive. Intraday, but our position is still flat. Walmart, nosedive. Apple, nosedive. I'm keeping a close eye on Nvidia. I want to keep a close eye on Nvidia, right? Because Nvidia did not run. There was no sympathy trade on Nvidia. So let's see if the Qs, all right? I'm still going to remain bullish on the Qs as long as we can stay above that 656.92, all right? 656.92. I'll keep remaining slightly bullish there. We are seeing VIX starting to pick up here, back above that 19. 710 is coming into play. So this is coming right off of our rejection zone. All right, this massive rejection. Look at this. They trapped a lot of longs, a lot of bulls there, right? Animal cruelty. Okay, they trapped them there and they just dragged them. Okay. As far as where we are now, we are in the jaws. The gap daily open today, 710.74. Shockwave hour, not yet. Okay, Shockwave hour, not yet. I would say the MVP for Shockwave yesterday was Palantir. Okay, co-MVP Walmart. So right off the bat, we are seeing some selling. We're back in the jaws of that gap. Let's get that G50 so we can kind of see if we want to fill that gap, or if we want to go dip into the gap and rip. G50 right there. We are back at that 710. Back at that 710. Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Good morning, Kimmy. Good morning, everyone. for a profitable trading day. May the Lord bless you and keep you, each of you in his care. Amen, amen. J Move, J Mov. And thank you for supporting the channel. Good morning, Sol Invictus. Good morning, BT. Good morning, Hector. Good morning, 1036. I've been going broke, going for 2 years. All right, just system, right? Just try to build a system. If it's not your thing, or you just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Again, trading is not for everybody, all right? Okay, but if there's something that tells you inside, I got to stick with this, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel despite the chaos, right? And something is driving you internally, right? You might have to stick with it, but at the same time, make growth. All right, make growth in the industry. Okay, so up 90%. Beautiful job, beautiful job, beautiful job. SoFi flat. SoFi flat. Going back that 200 EMA. This has time on it, so 710. What kind of interaction do we get with 710? Nvidia is waking up, guys. Nvidia is super aggressive. There goes Nvidia. There goes Nvidia. Nice bounce on Amazon off 258.78. Continues to push. Nvidia is above that 202.17. Nvidia is above that 202.17. Nvidia continues to push. Nvidia is starting to push here. Good morning, guys. Let's get the likes up. When we get to 100 likes, I'll share the link. It is Free Trade Friday. All right, it's Free Trade Friday. 100 likes, I'll share the link to the delay for ad-free stream for you guys. And 150 likes will do the giveaway. So currently we're in a giveaway drought, and that can all change today. Retest on Nvidia 201.79. Nvidia flying, so that's going to be a Shockwave candidate. Interestingly enough, Nvidia flying, SPY dumping. All right, Tesla starting to pick up some speed here. Okay, AMD back above VWAP. Google falling off a cliff. Amazon, nice bounce off that 258.79. Palantir falling off a cliff. JPM, 200 EMA, below that daily downside breaker. This Nvidia retest does look very appealing. See, we get some bullish candles in this territory. I want to take a look at Nvidia's contracts, see if they've been impacted by IV. Oh, okay, IV about 58%. Now SPY bouncing off that G50, 50% retrace that gap. Nvidia starting to bounce there. Okay, nice bounce on Nvidia. That took place really quickly. See how that goes. Shockwave hour, Nvidia will be a candidate. Shockwave hour, Nvidia will be a candidate. We're starting to see Microsoft pick up some speed here. Apple falling off a cliff. Apple is below 50 MA on the hourly and below that pre-market low. So Apple is going to be a candidate as well. So Nvidia candidate, Apple a candidate. Broadcom, good night. Tesla starting to wake up, rocking and rolling. Tesla's above PMH, 278. SPY's bouncing off that 50% retrace that gap. Okay, G50 there. We're below that 710. Bigger picture thinking, guys. Bigger picture here. So if SPY can hold below that 710, okay, decisively, all right, this can open up an opportunity to the downside. Okay, based on the fuel of this rejection based on the fuel from this rejection zone. A lot of selling from there. So can the selling allow SPY, okay, to break below that 710, hold below 710, and continue to push lower? We know historically 710, right, has been up for grabs. Okay, so we get below, we get above, we get below, we get above it with minimal hesitation, right? So that can be a little bit of a deterrent just to go short off 710 because of the previous history. All right, so, but if it can hold below there with the bigger picture candles, Higher time frame. Okay, this is not a bad. Okay, bad setup to think about using that hourly breaker. This is valid until 10:30. Okay, valid until 10:30. So we are directional on the hourly. Okay, as long as that 50% retrace does not get flipped. All right, this is probably where we are, but I want to see that nice close below that 710. So I want to see how that goes. If we bounce off that 710, reclaim that hourly 50% retrace, that can change, but that's something you want to think about if you're looking for something to sit in and to hold possibly for some time. If you get that clean break below 710 decisively on the 15, on the hourly, so on and so forth. All right. The fact that we don't have that positive that decisive relationship, I should say, with 710 as the deterrent. Tesla continues to push. Tesla's at 381. Tesla testing that 50 EMA on the hourly. Tesla's starting to wake up there. Nice bounce on Nvidia. Anyone take that bounce? Anyone take that bounce? PMH weekly upside breaker, beautiful bounce. Okay. I was right there for the taking. Nvidia, beautiful, beautiful. 20%. You took that bounce. Beautiful job, Carlos. Beautiful 6-0. Beautiful job. Right? So you see it continue to push, comes into that PMH, comes into that weekly upside breaker, comes into the EMAs. Everything is sitting there. So this would be a retest. This is not an expansion setup. This would be a retest setup. So keep in mind, the Shockwave is expansion. It's a momentum setup. Beautiful job, guys. Nvidia is very strong on that 15-minute candle. If Nvidia can hold above that 202.17, okay. If Nvidia can hold above that 202.17, has room to 203.82. That daily upside breaker. All right, but just manage accordingly. TP where you need to, per usual. That one just slipped. Okay, 10%. Good. Again, guys, make sure to like the video on YouTube. Make sure to like the video. Beautiful job. Anyone else taking video? Yeah, that was fast. Okay, so that was fast. Took Nvidia in and out. Beautiful. Tesla, 108%. Got Apple put yesterday. Sold at 60%. Beautiful job, guys. So a lot of you might be done for the day. Watch out for that double top on Nvidia up there. There's a sell block. Okay. Google reclaim PML. Again, we're at that 710. That's the issue with SPY, right? So Nvidia is a candidate. Broadcom, good night, Broadcom. AMD, as tempting as it is. All right, I want to illustrate the point, guys. The IV is 140%. IV is 140%. All right, so those contracts are heavily jacked up. SoFi just stuck in the mud. Down goes Broadcom. Tesla, 378 retest, very shallow retest. Or 378 retest between 370, 379, or 378.83, or 379 and 378. That dollar range on Tesla, if that can hold, that can lead to a nice little retest to back the upside. I want Nvidia to hold above that 202.17. SPY 710. Okay, SPY hugging that 710 all week. Somehow, some way makes its way back to 710. Same way the VIX does. In the same fashion. Apple starting to go retrace reject. Apple retrace reject PML. Into the Shockwave. Okay, see if Apple can continue to push lower. That might already be gone. Retrace reject Apple, that pre-market low, and that daily downside breaker. That'll lead that nice flag break. Right here. If it can come back at that territory, that'll be a good entry on Apple. Also testing that VWAP. Apple just going into Shockwave. Okay, into Shockwave. Apple is a candidate for Shockwave as well. That early entry would be that retrace reject. See if we get a nice little pop to the upside on Apple. So the invalidation marker on Apple would be, of course, the reclaim. Reclaim of the VWAP, showing some signs of strength. I'm looking at the 270s on Apple. Trying to get that entry as close as possible to that 270-150. If it starts to fade here, I'll take Apple. Okay, I'll take it right there. So I'm an Apple here. Apple puts, risk being the top of that candle. Okay. So I'm buying that a little bit into strength. So no close back above here. No close back above there. Shockwave is officially here. So this is a little before Shockwave. There's a different setup. So if we get that break of this flag, if we get a break of this compression and VWAP holds up, that can lead to a nice push. So I need that to break down. If you're still waiting, you can wait for that support to break. If you're waiting for Shockwave, continue to wait. Okay, I'll be babysitting Apple. If it crosses up there, then I'll be out of there. Okay. Okay, we're looking at Apple on the 15. So I already know where the risk is. So first trade of the day, Apple. Okay, shot on the Shockwave front. Of course, AMD's up for grabs, but AMD, that's going to be tough. IV. We have Nvidia above 293 at 22. See if SPY can knock out those lows. This is where Apple is. A small victory for Apple would be a break below 270.95. 270.95 would be a small victory for Apple. SPY, nothing on SPY yet. That's 710. All right, 710 is a big issue. Apple down 12. Okay, my risk is reclaim that level we just discussed. So Apple's starting to wake up here. Okay, see if we can go retrace, reject, some kind of weakness there. If SPY breaks below that 708.57, okay, that has room to the downside to that 708.89. Apple testing that VWAP. IWM starting to brew here. Risk on Apple 271.90. $271.90. Risk on Apple. Q starting to slide. IW starting to break down there below Shockwave. Microsoft starting to pick up some speed here. Microsoft picking up some speed. Microsoft Shockwave alert. Meta, Shockwave alert. Meta, Shockwave alert. Meta and Microsoft. Broadcom to the downside for the puts. Meta, Microsoft to the upside. AMD picking up some steam. SPY not doing much. Tesla, Shockwave alert as well. Tesla starting to go. Tesla, I'm looking at the 385s. Tesla looking at the 385. Still an Apple, but we'll babysit Apple. See if Tesla can give a signal here. Tesla stay above that 381.07. If I get that alert on Apple above that 271.90, I'll get stopped out. Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. Okay, let's see what Elon has. Microsoft gone. Keeping a close eye on Tesla. We'll close Apple right there at 25%. So stopped out on Apple. For some reason, the alert didn't go, but I'll still get stopped out on Apple 25%. So I gave Apple a shot, stopped out. Okay, let's see if Tesla can start to go here. Shockwave alert Tesla. Looking at the 385s. Okay, I'll take Tesla there. Okay, I'm in Tesla here. Risk being the, of course, the regular risk. Tesla's up 5, 6. If you did take this, manage accordingly. So first trade, Apple stopped out 25%. Second trade, Tesla. See if Tesla starts to go. Risk on Tesla is 379, 379.23. Okay, Tesla did not fully print that risk reward box yet. So I'll see if we can print that. That sign stays there. Tesla pulling back here. Risk on Tesla is right here. 378.25. So these contracts are a little further dated. Okay, a little further dated, further strike, I should say. Nasty trap on Tesla. See if that 9 can hold. Right, so my risk is here. So right there. Did see about 8, 9 on Tesla, but I want to see that scale out or stop out or hit TP. Hit all the way up there. That 381.07 on Tesla, very strong. Small victory will be a reclaim of that 9. That's a small victory. Bounce off that 9. So Shockwave didn't actually get printed there. So I actually try to front run that a little bit. So a little bit of front running today. See if you get a nice little bounce on Tesla. SPY, guys. SPY is just 710. Okay. SPY 710. That's where it's finding its new home. That hourly EMA, that 50, that hourly 50 EMA on Tesla is right there as well. All right. So we need that push to start taking place here. Okay. The thing is, past this week, they've been rewarding the breaks, right? They've been either rewarding the breaks really nicely or punishing the breaks. All right, the retest, you're going to have to wait, of course. So you get one more push on Tesla. NC's right here. That's probably going to be, because of these contracts, that's probably going to be upwards of 35, 40%. Okay. So again, the upside is all the way back to that target there. So a small victory would be on Tesla, of course. Get that push above that 381.07. Nice hold above there. Down 25, 26% on Tesla. SPY not doing much, guys. SPY is at that 310, that 710. SPY is at that 710. Apple, good cut on Apple. Apple's going the other way. Microsoft still holding up. Broadcom, beautiful push lower. IWM puts TP, 40% IWM. That was nice. Yeah, IW. Again, it keeps presenting those beautiful opportunities. Tesla, selling off here. I'm going to have to close Tesla here, guys. Getting close to that stop. Very close. If it breaks below that territory. Okay, I got to close Tesla there. Okay. Closing Tesla there. Little wide stop there on Tesla. Close it out at 49. Okay. Just the nature of how Tesla moves. Sometimes that's what happens. Now SPY is breaking those lows. See if SPY can hold below there, I'll be there. Because bigger picture, that's going to be good. Bigger picture, we have some room to the downside. That close below 710. That bigger picture thinking there. See if that starts to push. So 2 stop outs on Apple, stop out on Tesla. All right, a little bit of front running there. See if SPY can start to come back in. If you're just being focused on Shockwave, waiting for the signal, then you should be good. How are we doing on YouTube, guys? Inputs, IWM was beautiful. IW was nice. IW is actually back below that weekly open, guys. IW is below that weekly open. Qs are also below those lows. Again, I need some kind of retest there. I'll take SPY to the downside. Okay, some kind of retest. I'm looking at SPY 710s. Get that nice little push. Okay, so I can get filled there. Horrible fill, but I'm in SPY. Okay, I'm in SPY puts. My fill is very close to the scale out. All right, so even though it's up, I'm not going to be able to use this as my stop. So I'll give it about a 10% buffer because my fill is like down here. My fill is basically at that 709, 15-ish, okay? Didn't get the best fill. My fill's like out here. If you're waiting for that retest, that did come into play. So now I just need a SPY to continue to push lower. My risk is going to be here. If it closes back above this, I get stopped out. If it closes back above there, I get stopped out. Okay, I want to give it a second here. If you're waiting for that retest, see if you get that wick back below it. Okay, I'll close it there. Close it there for 13, 14%. Down for the day. Intel puts 23%. Yeah, so stopped out here on SPY. Didn't get the best fill. If it can start to break down one more time, I can give it one more go. But that's three stop outs. All right, so I probably have one trade left, and I'll be done. All right, if it's going to just be stop out, stop out, stop outs. Okay, I don't want to start tilting. So this one gave you a quick scale out if you took that exact break. If we can fall back under it, I'll be there. But again, my fill was a little too close to that scale out. That candle was very deceiving there. IW starting to bounce off that weekly open. We're seeing the Qs bounce off that 650, 692. Let's see if anything comes back into play. So 3 stop outs, stopped out on Apple, stopped out on Tesla, stopped out on SPY. So the only one that was Shockwave related was SPY. If we can get that break back below it, I can re-engage with a better entry. If we can get that break back below it, I can re-engage with a better entry. It's going to test that 784. We are seeing that bounce off that 650, 692 on SPY. Okay. One on the left, IWM. SPY plus 20%. MRVL, 90%. Beautiful job, guys. IWM, 10%. Okay, see if we get that nice little push lower. So this gave a scale out and started to break down. So now what's continuously bouncing off those lows? So we're starting to see Nvidia still brewing. Nvidia still brewing. Amazon is trying to bounce off that 252. 252.79. 252.79. Nasty rejection on Tesla. So as wrong as I was on Tesla, okay, there's a setup on Tesla, right? To try to front run Shockwave, okay, and nothing there. My stop was there, stopped out here. All right, if I decide not to stop out, it goes from getting stopped out to getting that entire contract getting wiped out. And that 50 EMA on the hourly was very strong, that 381.07. So who's done for the day? Who's done for the day? Okay, SPY. Okay, I'm back in SPY here. Better entry this time. All right, my risk is going to be, of course, is full unit. So second attempt on SPY. If you did take SPY second attempt, if you took it the first attempt, beautiful job. Second attempt, so I'm looking to take it into that 709.01. Stay below 710. So 710, stay below it. If you did take that, manage accordingly. Up 9, up 10. TP where you need to. I'm looking to get it to scale out. So this is my NC. So I did see 10, but I'm trying to get that towards the lows of the day. And this will be the last trade of the day as well. Okay, I'm out of there. Okay, so stopped out. 10 o'clock, consumer sentiment as well. Kind of lost track of time there. So 4 trades within 30 minutes, guys, all stopped out. So not the best trading on my end. All right, very jittery, very shaky, very all over the place. I don't like what I'm doing at the current moment. So on that note, I'm going to be done for the day. All right, so for those of you who are doing much better, who are able to get those reads, navigating better than I am, continue to manage your positions. But the 3 trades, right, that I did, I like this trade here. But sometimes what happens is when you lose track of time, I lost track of time there, consumer sentiment, so I had to close it. And you start to be all over the place. So from that standpoint, unfortunately, I'll be done for the day. 4 trades, all 4 trades stopped out. 1 on Shockwave, a little late entries. Tesla stopped out as well. Apple stopped out as well. So we'll be done for the rest of the day, and we'll just be in observation mode. We'll be in observation mode. 1 on our left, IW. So IWM the past few days has been moving beautifully. Has been moving beautifully. It gave that nice little push, nice little drop. You can see that nice little drop. The only thing I have at the current moment is SoFi. That's it. SoFi, that's the only horse in the race. SoFi is the only horse in the race. IW, that break came right at that 950. So 950 came in. Start to break. Waves are waving. Breaks down. Even on SPY here, right? It didn't close above NC. But consumer sentiment also came in there. And I don't want it to get blast off there. Okay. So, but if you did take this, maybe you wait after consumer sentiment. Maybe you're in the position earlier. Good, good, good. A lot of you took IW. A lot of you took Nvidia. Okay. So see if SPY can continue to push lower. It's at 710. 710 holds. That 710 is holding so far in the 15. Okay, 710 is holding so far in the 15. Okay. So the idea from earlier, if we can break that hourly downside breaker, right, but you need that clear separation away from 710. Right, there's a good chance that we continuously gravitate towards 710 based on our prior history. All right, so it is very, very choppy, guys. All right, so be very careful. It is OPEX on top of that. Okay. If you're able to find a couple of setups you take advantage of, one setup you took advantage of, if you're green, stay clean. If you're getting stopped out a few times, assess where you are. Have to take a look at the SOX ETF and ask yourself if that move is sustainable. Nvidia's best chance to move up against everything else. Nvidia hasn't moved. Yeah, Nvidia's still range bound. 203.22 above 203.22. Use lose Nvidia. So Apple's still within that range. So what I was looking to do with Apple, I do like that trade. What I was looking to do with Apple was I was looking to get that retrace reject. Okay, I like that initial leg. And I was looking to see if I can get that nice breakdown. But the only thing is the breakdown and that PML is there. Let me put the key levels as well. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. So this is what I was looking to play. Okay. We have the previous day low. So I was looking for that continued selling. The previous day low, we have that PML. We have a lot of things lining up there and looking to see if there's an opportunity to the downside. Okay. Opportunity to the downside. One thing I could have done better, maybe wait for that structural break. If you're looking for Apple on Shockwave, there's nothing there. So what I was looking to do, I was looking to be a little creative, okay, to get that nice little first leg and see if there was a second leg to the downside. Okay, so let's see if we get this kind of move into this breaker. All right, but buyers just stepped in off that 276.95 territory. Okay. Okay. SPYs, very, very choppy here, guys. Okay, so be very careful. It is the first 30 minutes. Maybe I was a little overexcited the first 30 minutes. A little trigger happy, possibly. Because very rarely do I take three shots that quickly back to back. All right, so again, SPY, if it gets back above that 710, that can start to push the downside. If it's below it, you have the right to think short. If it gets above it, downward compression break, you have the right to think long. Yeah, 270 critical level. 270 is a major level. We're seeing Amazon right at previous day's highs. That daily upside breaker on Amazon, 258.79. Meta continues to push. Meta continues to push. Okay, Meta is pushing. Nvidia is pushing 203.22. Nvidia is holding that zone. Nvidia is holding that zone. Palantir, again, Palantir to the downside. Palantir, beautiful move. SPY is looking to push back above that 710. Can it create that separation away from 710? Okay, if we take a look at the game plan chart, that 710 is a pivotal, right? That the short below 710 is a good setup into that 705. But the only issue is, look at our previous history. Okay, look at our previous history. Okay, we reject off of it, we break above it, we slice right through it, we get above it, we get below it, we do all sorts of things with it here. So this is a strong level, but its strength is shown in its ability to attract price back to it. All right, so the next move is probably going to be tied to what kind of separation do we get from the 710. What kind of separation do we get? Tesla PML, see if that can go hammer off that PML. Tesla's within prior day's range. Amazon bouncing off that 258.79, nice bounce. Okay, that's where we are. Google is starting to go. See if Google can hold above that 339.07 for the upside for calls. See if we can hold above that. Anyone taking Nvidia off this bounce zone? Not a back and forth, but nonetheless. And if it breaks above that 203.03, that 15-minute candle's high, Nvidia can start to go. Nvidia can start to go. Nvidia can start to go above that level. So again, that separation away from that 710 on SPY is going to be critical. If we get that separation, we'll be in good shape. No separation, then we can see more chop. Qs are starting to pick up some speed as well. Qs are, of course, any high at this point, any intraday high is an all-time high on the Qs. Any intraday high is an all-time high on the Qs. Any intraday high is an all-time high. That 710, if that can hold, will help a lot of things push off those highs. Qs are are on the verge of breaking those all-time highs. Qs are starting to go. Keep a close eye on Nvidia here for that expansion. Nvidia played with my feelings already, 20%. Beautiful job. Coinbase puts, good. Yeah, IW on the move once again, back to the upside. IW giving view up a run for its money. Nvidia 203 Shockwave, keep a close eye. $69% on Tesla puts. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so it's the what the market is rewarding is the retest. Of course, the retest is always going to be there, but the breaks this week has been all about the breaks, because what it does is some of the breaks it just goes, and then you're waiting for the retest. There's no retest, and then it conditions you to take every break after that, and then what it does is it punishes that other break. So it's just a game of cat and mouse. SNDK above 1,000. SNDK hit 1,000. SNDK hit 1,000. So I'll recalibrate after first. I'll probably have one more do one lotto and then be done. All right. Just I didn't like this little stretch that I was trading in there. A little sloppy there. And sometimes it just takes stepping back, reassessing. Okay. Nvidia, okay, still not above that 203.22. It's basically rewarded the buyers who took it off the PMH. SPY, guys, SPY is just not doing anything here. At 710. Who's done for the day? Who's done for the day? Who's done for the week? Let us know in the chat. Let's get 100 likes, guys. Make sure to like the video on YouTube. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Bounty getting turbo cooked. Yep. Let's get the likes up, guys. 100 likes. We'll share the link. $100 likes, we will share the link. Update on SoFi. SoFi is down 7%, 8%. All right, still testing that 90 MA, that 200 MA on the hourly. 200 MA on the hourly. Gonna keep a close eye on Nvidia. Is it me or does this first shift seem longer than usual? It might just be me. It might just be me. In the meantime, guys, let's get 100 likes before 10:30. The webinar for this weekend for Shockwave 15 has been moved. To 4 p.m. AMD, new all-time highs. Nvidia is looking like it wants to go. Nvidia's looking like it wants to go. Okay, I will drop the link to the webinar for this weekend for Shockwave in just a minute here. Amazon, nice bounce off 258.79. Continues to push. Palantir, nice retrace reject off the put trigger. Nvidia looks a little flaggy. Okay, if you connect all those points of resistance. Google. They try to break. Down goes Robinhood. Down goes Palantir. Look at Palantir another day. Okay, we took Palantir Shockwave, all right. Be mindful that I got that triple bottom needs to address. Okay, so that can be your first hurdle. If we can close below that, you're good to go. You have room to that daily downside, daily prior day's lows. So Palantir looking good. Robinhood as well, falling off a cliff. You can see Robinhood's chart is not as clean. Robinhood's chart is not as clean. TP1 hit on Palantir. TP1 hit on Palantir. SPY, and unfortunately, SPY's not doing much. 710. Okay. So Shockwave did present a couple of scalps to the downside. Consumer sentiment came in, couldn't really push us in either direction. Okay, so 710 is just a magnet. Major magnet. Major magnet. Amazon potential push into all-time highs above 260.86. That is a Shockwave trigger, but it is trading at all-time highs. Okay. Nvidia starting to push. Keep in mind today is OPEX as well. Options expiration. All right. Option expiration is the third Friday of the month. We got some news.
Social media just a couple of minutes ago. She says this morning the Inspector General for the Federal Reserve has been asked to scrutinize the building cost overruns in the billions of dollars that have been borne.
Okay, never mind. I thought it was news pertaining to the Middle East. Okay, we're starting to see Amazon trying to push into the highs of the day. Nvidia right there as well. AMD made new all-time highs. SNDK crossed 1,000. SNDK crossed 1,000. MRVL sitting right at that hourly 50 EMA. Meta continues to push forward. Meta quietly pushing. Like no one is watching. You can see Meta's chart very clean. And it gave a nice little flag off of that as well. Meta last signal, 946, 66317. Break. At 710, guys. SPY, past couple days has been broken, basically. And we're still within prior day's range. What's really doing this, guys, is the fact that we're still inside on the weekly. So the weekly, we have not made a decision. Usually we make a decision by midpoint of the week. But this go around, that weekly candle, we're still inside. Okay, the weekly candle, we are still inside on the weekly candle. Okay, if you are getting stopped out, manage your risk. If you are able to extract profits today, that might be as good as it gets. Keep it clean. And Palantir puts, good. Very long for a shift. 60% QQQ calls. Beautiful. QQQ came right off of that level, right? That daily upside breaker. Okay, so that level here. That 9 EMA. VWAP on QQQ. On the hourly. Nice little bounce there. And now this QQQ have enough juice to continue. So this week it's been just the most important thing has been entry. Right? Entry. Entry, 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 entry. That makes a difference. Where and when you enter. Okay, that's gonna be the difference. That was the difference this week if you're wrong or right. All right. From an opportunity standpoint, technical standpoint, you can be right but still be wrong. You can be right on the chart, but still be wrong. So nice pickup there. Yeah, and SPY guys, the past 7-10, we know we haven't been doing much, and it's clear SPY doesn't know where to go. Okay, SPY is confused. Google is starting to brew here. Google. All right, I'll wait until the end of first shift, and then we'll see what opportunities are there. I didn't like the way I traded first shift. That's probably one of my sloppiest shifts of all time, right? During the history of our stream. All right, and it happens sometimes. It happens. You get caught. You get overly excited. You try to front run. It happens. So whenever you do feel yourself doing that, it's very important. Hey, all right, let me step back. Let me take a breather. Okay, and see what's there. And that's what the shift-to-shift framework is for. That's what the shift-to-shift framework is for, guys. Okay, there goes AMD, but AMD's at all-time highs. There's nothing to do there. So if you're a Shockwave watch, keep a close eye on Google. Nvidia, of course, we have an alert there. Palantir hit TP. Robinhood already went. So all eyes on Nvidia. Amazon already went. Amazon made all-time highs. Apple is starting to brew. %, Firefly. I agree. Exit from calls, good. Entry has been off for me this week. So the adjustments. So the weekend is right, just in time for the weekend. You can take some time, see what took place, make those proper adjustments. And look at this 670 guy, 710. I keep saying 670, 710. See profit, take profit. If you're able to extract something, tremendous job. If you're shooting shots and you're missing your shots, assess the conditions. IWM. Doesn't have enough fuel off that VWAP to continue to push lower. Did get stopped out on IW yesterday. VWAP is right there. Doesn't have enough to collapse under here. Risk being these highs here. Okay, that exact level right there. So the exact level IW is going to be 275.45. Okay, let the engine give the signal. So if you have it on a break, this would be your break. If you have it on a different mode, we'll wait to give that signal. It's filtering it out. It's filtering all the variables out. Maybe a 670 is in the car. That would be a nice drop from 710 to 670. No stream next week. Long or short IWM. If we can break below here, VWAP holds. We hold below VWAP, potential short. All right, but decisive break. Waiting for Shockwave to give something. Because it's like the market rewards you for taking the break once and punishes you 4 times. Rewards you once and punishes you 4 times. So it's trying to sway you to modify your entries. So it's very important to stick to your guns. Stick to your guns at all costs. So nothing there. So Shockwave did his job from that standpoint, right? You don't want it to give you that signal. All eyes on Nvidia. Let's see what Nvidia has up to. Nvidia, outside of this bounce area here, guys, which a lot of our team members took advantage of. Okay, if you're going to get that break above these highs, it has to be a strong break. This is overhead resistance. There's overhead supply. So there has to be some volume, some pressure behind that buying. Okay. That first shift wrap up. So first shift took 4 trades, 2 trades on SPY stopped out, trade on Apple. So the trades that I do like, okay, the trade that I can live with, I can live with all the trades, right? I manage the risk. But what I didn't like is just the running around that I was doing in first shift. All right, so first shift is in the books. What happened in first shift stays first shift, second shift. We'll look for the next opportunities. From that standpoint, I probably have one more lotto. If not, we'll be done. Okay. So once that clock runs out, you don't want to, during first shift, you don't want to take any trades if you're mentally compromised here. Let this go. Especially if you're taking that next trade, you don't want to try to regain where you got stopped out here. All right. I say you're up 15%. You don't want to say, hey, you know what? I want more. So in this case, this last trade here was up about 10%, but I was seeing if I can get it to scale out. It wasn't an attempt to make back the stop outs. All right. Sometimes you can be tempted to do that. You can be tempted to do that. The Qs, if they do break those lows, right, they do have room into that 656.92. But for the Qs, for us to start to adopt that bearish line of thinking on the Qs need to decisively break below 656.92 and continue to sell off. Right, if they remain above that, more than likely buyers are picking up off those lows. Right, buyers are buying those dips. Apple back at previous week highs. If not motivating when you say might not be. No, I wasn't saying that it's not for you. What I'm saying is, if you took it the wrong way, right, you might have taken it out of context. What I was saying is, those are the things that come with trading, right? They come. That's the nature of the business in the beginning, right? You're basically you lose enough, and you learn. That's how you learn. And it could be very frustrating because you're losing, but it feels like you're not going anywhere. Right? But if you're learning, making the proper adjustments, it's the cost of tuition. Right? That's the cost of going to How to Trade University. That's the cost. Right? It might take you 2 years, it might take you a year, it might take you 3 years, it might take you 4 years, it might take you 5 years. All right? But if you have that kind of mindset, you're constantly trying to get better as a student, and you understand those losses come with the territory, and they do hurt. So I'm not discounting the losses, but from the standpoint of if there's traders out there who are pushing for the results, but they're not willing to make the proper adjustments and learn and be a student and trying to force trades and force the process, right, it's going to yield the same result. And it's going to be very, very frustrating. So that from that standpoint, it might not be for that type of trader who has that kind of mindset, because you're going to be spinning for many years. It's going to cost you a lot of capital, a lot of time, a lot of effort. Does that make sense? Okay, so hopefully that provides some clarification. Let me know if that makes sense. This does not affect someone, but bigger picture. Market has priced in some of the trade moves closure. Look at this 670, guys. No, not six. The 710. The 710, unbelievable level. Unbelievable level. Very, very strong. Okay, there goes Nvidia. Nvidia starting to move. Nvidia shaking and baking. Nvidia shaking and baking. Anyone take Nvidia? If you have that early entry off that territory, you had to sit through a lot, right? But you're green for a good chunk of the time. And if you still sat through that, okay, now let's see if Nvidia can hold here. Okay, preliminary signal there. What's SMH up to? So we know Nvidia is the only one that hasn't moved. SMH is inside that hourly's range. So this looks just like a move on Nvidia's end. Solo mission by Nvidia. We can see Nvidia held this daily upside breaker, held that key zone. In this case, if the keys continue to push hard, that'd be great. If you took Nvidia, dollar signs in the chat. If you waited for that, beautiful. Okay. If you took that earlier entry, good. Bar Simpson's head. Yeah, Nvidia, that was nice. That was definitely worth the wait if you waited for that one. That was definitely worth the wait if you waited for that one. Gamma, GX is ugly. Yeah, everything on SPY. Look at that, guys. Shockwave. Okay. So Shockwave is going to be the most effective system, especially in these kind of environments, guys, because it's gonna force you to be patient. And as you're being patient, at least you don't lose anything. 25% Nvidia, beautiful job, Carlos. Good. For my strikers, for the shock wavers. And SPY is not doing anything. Okay, so that adjustment we made a few weeks ago into those individual names, right, is not, there's a reason, because when we head to those summer months, okay, and SPY is not near those all-time highs, not moving much, right, now it becomes a stock picker's market, okay, until SPY gives us something. So it's going to give us those opportunities, but until it gives you something, now Nvidia is above that daily upside breaker, so prior day's highs. So you can target that initially. That's going to be a huge obstacle for Nvidia here. All right, that's a nice little runway. Depending on your entry, you could squeeze anywhere from 20 to 30% out of this. That's 79 cents, depending on entry and contract. All right. So this is a big area of contention. That is that daily upside breaker. If you're waiting for retest, you're waiting for this. This is your retest. If you're waiting for retest, you're waiting for this. If you're waiting for pullback, you're waiting for you want Nvidia to continue to go like no one is watching, and you want it to start doing this kind of maneuver off the EMAs. Well, that's a different type of trade. Okay. Who's in Nvidia? Strikers, who's in Nvidia? There we go. There you go. Scale out. Okay, now SPY is starting to try to get back above 670. 710, above 710. Nvidia's out of here. Nvidia is out of here. Nvidia's out of here. And you don't take Nvidia on YouTube. Hopefully some of the strikers caught that. In SPY call 10:15. Okay. Anyone else catch that? Anyone else catch that? Beautiful job, Firefly. Beautiful job, Jimmy. Look at this, guys. Nvidia just a madman. Taking off. Beautiful job, Hussein. Great job on being patient, guys. Great job on being patient. Trusting the setup. And that is the adjustment, continuous adjustment, right? SPY continues to do what it needs to do. We need to continuously emphasize on those individual tickers. Individual tickers, Shockwave will be the best approach. All right, look at this. Hopefully you guys are milking Nvidia. If you're not in it, don't chase it. That last signal came 10:35, right here. Oh, you like this poster? We just need the trade to work out now. Nice poster, but SoFi needs to pick up some speed here. Okay, TP1 hit. 70%. Beautiful job, Firefly. So for the ones who have Shockwave, this is okay, going to be brought to your attention. It's going to be on your radar. And let's compare that to SPY. SPY, guys, SPY's essentially broken. Okay, it's been broken the past 3 days. I'd go as far as to say all week. Okay, whenever it was been at this 710, has found this obsession with 710, it's just not been going anywhere. Okay, so there are opportunities, but you're going to have to be even more patient. The frequency of those opportunities are significantly lower. Okay. We'll watch Nvidia. So TP1 hit. It's above that daily upside breaker, prior day's highs. It hit TP1. What's next? TP2 is all the way at 206.62. TP3, 208.32. Scale out done. So it's currently just the next target, 206.62. Okay, it's 45 cents away. Look at that, guys. Who's milking Nvidia? Who's ringing the register? Shockwave for the win, 100%, 340%. There we go. Make that close to 400. Look, this thing looks like it wants to go to TP2. If it can hold above TP1, it looks like it wants to go to TP2. This is Nvidia, by the way, guys. Nvidia did not make that move. From pre-market meeting when the semis saw a nice little push up, Nvidia did not have that gap up. This can go upwards of 500% possibly. Who's still holding? My goodness, guys. If you waited for that, all right, you took the big hunt, big kill. Beautiful job, team. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. SPY's now starting to make a little bit of separation away from that 670, but how far can it go? Right now it has room to that 71150 territory, and of course now it's going into that rejection zone. So the whole point of Shockwave is get stopped out, get stopped out, get stopped out, right? You get stopped out, you manage your risk, and be in position to catch a big trade. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at that. Again, interestingly enough, SPY is not even barely moving. QQQ didn't break out yet. So this is just a pure rotation into Nvidia. Okay. SMH is still within the hourly. All right. SMH is still contained within that hourly range. So this is a pure rotation, aggressive buying on Nvidia. $680% from one of our team members, guys. 680%, 540, 145. All right, so that's what Shockwave will allow you to be a TP2 hit. TP3 is TP3 is 208.32. So it gives you all the TPs. Maybe you guys can't see this. Let me make the text a little larger. Okay, let me make the text a little larger. That's too large. That's too large. TP2 hit. Continues to go, guys. Continues to go. There you go. That's the power of Shockwave. You can use the EMA. You can use the level as your trail. Whatever you want. You can close out. If you closed out here, that's fine as well. Right? You still have a piece to show for it. But at some point in time, profits have to be taken. So that was, okay, close to a $4 move as of now. Beautiful job, 6-0. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Firefly. Hussein, beautiful. What can really help this now is if the indexes start to break as well. If they start to break, maybe that can add a little more juice into it. But this thing already ran up. This looks like just a pure rotation into Nvidia. Okay. Beautiful job, Firefly. Late entry, 50% profit. Beautiful. So Nvidia got the job done. 40%. Beautiful job, Carlos. After that retest, beautiful job. Astronomical move. Okay. One of the best days ever. Up $700. Beautiful job, Firefly. Okay, that's the point of Shockwave, guys. All right, so make sure to grab it. It's a tool. It's going to do the heavy lifting for you, give you some clarity. There's no system like it out there. If there's going to be a big move, all I ask is get used to how to use it. Submit yourself to the process. If you get stopped out, just manage a stop out. Just get stopped out there, because when it goes, all the stop outs you got stopped out on, it will correct. Okay. So the EMAs are still, the waves are still waving. Sold 800%. Absolutely, guys. 800%. Okay, that's a great team win. Even though I took the losses earlier, if the team wins, it's a team win. Okay? It's all about that the abundance mindset. It's not a zero-sum game. It's not only one person can win at a time. The thing with the market is, guys, everybody can win at the same time, or anyone can win at any time. At any time. Okay, nice little bounce off that target. Might go to target 3. Okay, now SPY's starting to break. Qs are starting to break. No, don't chase Nvidia. Don't chase. The reason why chasing is dangerous, because it might look like you can get chased, you can get away with it. Because sometimes when it chases, you try to replicate the move that took place, and you discount the regular TPs. Say if Nvidia's up, one of our traders caught it for 800%. Right? Subconsciously, when you take a trade, 15% is going to seem like pennies. So there's a likelihood that you're going to discount that 15% appreciation and look for more, and then it goes the other way. So the best thing to do is just to mark out levels and see if we can respect those levels, know where the risk is, and take it from there rather than just blindly chasing. Thanks, Nvidia, my wife's birthday gift. Absolutely. Happy birthday to your wife, Jose. Push gift, beautiful job, Hussein. That's what our team is about, guys. That's what the team is about. There's more than a team. It was a giant family. Okay. I took calculated risk off the break. Had target in mind, so I'm grateful for my share. Absolutely. If you define it, then you can rationalize, hey, you know what, if it pulls back to the EMA, I know exactly where my exit is, then it makes sense. Okay, SPY is starting to brew here. Qs are starting to brew. So if SPY and the Qs start to break now, that's only going to further give Nvidia a lift. Always, Lynn. OG student. Lynn, right. It's been almost over a year, right? Who's done for the week? Who's done for the week now, guys? Okay, now let's take a look at Nvidia. Also, Nvidia, there's alignment on Nvidia. The reason is because we know. Do you guys remember that runway we talked about on Nvidia many times this week? Right, just have an idea where we are, higher time frame, allows you to understand where we are. Okay, if we take a look at Nvidia here, Nvidia was in the jaws of a runway. No, I don't want this chart. Right, it broke above a major resistance level. Right, and now had a nice runway to push into ATH. Because Nvidia is one of those names, one of the semiconductors that have yet to hit ATH. That have yet to hit ATH. Okay, let's go back for a second. Okay, here we go. All right, this is the runway. Nvidia actually yesterday came in and tested that 9. Right, and that had that clean runway. Now it has a justification to make that run up. And most of retail is going to be interested where, guys, when Nvidia's up here. All the alerts, all the bells and whistles start going off when Nvidia's here. Right, because most of the time, retail, you and I, were used as exit liquidity. Right, because most of the time, traders are buying someone else's exit. So here there's a gorgeous runway, minimal interruptions. Okay, SPY's starting to go, index is starting to roll. Meta's starting to push as well. Meta was beautiful as well. You're not going to find anything as gorgeous as this, right? So there's not going to, everything's going to pale into comparison to what Nvidia did. But right behind that, we do have Meta with that nice push. Look at Meta. All right, so Shockwave worked beautifully for the terrific 12. Okay, the terrific 12, Shockwave works beautifully. But just get familiar with the personality of that individual name. Because if you know Nvidia, if Nvidia goes, it goes. If Tesla goes, it goes. So if in the case where it doesn't go, just move to the side. I can't believe the amazing morning I have had so far. I feel like a thief. Looking over my shoulder, feel blessed. Absolutely, guys. Thank you for today. Did not fully recoup from the week, but at least I can keep trading next week. Yep, week by week. Day by day. So that's going to further help Nvidia go higher, the fact that indexes are pushing. If you take a look at the 15 on Nvidia, as bullish as can be. Strong 15-minute candle. No wicks. No wick on the previous candle. It was a flush candle over candle. If you waited for SPY, okay? If you say, hey, you know what, SPY, the action is ugly, okay? Gives you the entry here for calls. And these kind of conditions, okay? Very tricky conditions, especially for SPY. SPY is having a hard time. All right, so make sure to like the video, guys. Make sure to like the video on YouTube. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. We're closing in on 5K subs. It's a huge milestone for our channel. We're building this thing from the ground up, okay? To have the most prosperous, process-driven community, both on YouTube, on Discord, and anything that has to do with our channel or our system. It's a huge milestone for our channel. We're building this. There's an echo there. I wanted to check the likes. Right, 70 likes. right? So whether you're on your YouTube side and our community, wherever you are, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe. And I did have a poll question for today. That poll question, I wanted to get a feel for the room. That poll question was, okay, how many years have you been day trading? So 40% of the people that voted have been day trading less than a year on YouTube. You can feel free to put that number in the chat as well, team. Okay, feel free. I would go as far as to say with Shockwave, you can even use very little size. All right, especially if you're gonna try to play Shockwave and get those major TPs rather than play scalps. Okay, you can use even the least amount of size and have larger targets. So you lose small, lose small, lose small, lose small. Right, you have to make the adjustments accordingly. But the question becomes, how often do you get a trade like this on this ticker? More than likely, there's going to be a trade. There's going to be 3 to 5 of these trades a week. Not on SPY, but within the Terrific 12. So your ability to be nimble is going to be critical. So guess what I'm building for the next update? All right, based on what our Shockwavers are telling me. All right, so you guys are sending me some DMs. So the next update, I'm going to add that Power Hour Lotto window. And the next update, I'm going to add a dashboard, okay, with the Terrific 12 that shows you which ones are going. Shows you which ones have broken, shows you which ones haven't broken yet. Okay? So you're not going back and forth and going all over the place. That's going to be the next update. All right? So I don't have an exact date for that update yet. Okay? I'm just doing some testing. Making sure everything lines up nicely. Okay, there's no bugs. Okay, and that's going to be the update. All right, so a nice dashboard with all the Terrific 12, their levels, and the Shockwave breaks. If they break, if it doesn't. And on top of that, the Power Hour Lotto window. That's going to be the next 2 updates. So we'll probably go with the dashboard first. So what I'll do is the people that have access to this, instead of combining the 2 codes, I don't want it to get jumbled up. I'm going to create a separate indicator that pairs with this as well. And then you can add it as well, and everyone has access to this. We'll have access to that as well. Okay, so that's going to be the next update. I look forward to it. All right. And it's awesome. It's awesome to see people winning. It's awesome to see people winning, hitting their stride, and the impact it can have. 1 year and 3 months trading. Okay, so let us know in the Discord as well how many years you've been trading. Less than a year. We knew it was retesting to run absolutely Cooper. So a lot of you guys less than a year camp, right? You have a lot of things to learn. I would say you're in the right place. Continue to focus on the education side. You're going to hear a lot of noise, a lot of different things from all over the place. So it's very important that you focus on the education. Try to be as process driven as you can. And you're going to have to experience the ebbs and flows, unfortunately. You're going to have to experience what it feels like to be up big, to be down big, right? But all I say is you don't have to experience those ebbs and flows with all your capital, okay? You don't have to say if you have a set aside a cash pile you want to use to trade, okay? Don't use the whole thing. Use a small percentage. Okay, with a cash account, you don't need to do, PDT doesn't apply. So you have 25K to trade. All right, you've been learning about this trading thing. You took a couple of courses. You want to get started. You have 25K in your account, and boom, you're going to deposit that right in and start clicking buttons. I would say, okay, Don't even, just use 2,500. Especially if you're brand new, even less. All right, this is just best practice, so you can do whatever you like, and then see what you can do with this. Build a system here. And as you progress, as you feel the ebbs and flows, as you feel what it feels like to deal with big wins, some losses, managing risk, you find your own. Then, as you start to grow this, you can slowly give yourself a little bump up, a little promotion. You start to build your trust, you can start to funnel a little more capital. Your account is growing slowly as well. You're building your confidence. And then now, most of the brokerage accounts, if your capital is sitting there, they'll give you 2-3% without you doing anything. All right, I believe Webull gives you 3% for your capital. Without you taking a trade, they'll give you 3%. Okay? So take your time. Because worst case scenario, if you do this method and you blow this, which can happen. That's the reality of the situation. Okay? There's a lot of things you learned, and you have 10 of these. So take your time, all right? Don't be in a rush to deposit all the capital and take those trades and click buttons after taking any course. It's going to take some progress, okay? It's going to take some progress. It's going to take some you trusting yourself, you developing your skill. All right, a lot of things are going to take place for you to get to where you need to get to. All right, so focus on the education, focus on the process, and you'll be well on your way. The ones who started around COVID time, right, you're probably hitting your stride by now, or you already hit your stride. If you haven't, you're almost there. Just imagine everyone that started during COVID times and gave up. Right, but you're one of the few who still survived. Okay, the industry tried to eliminate you, tried to liquidate you, but somehow, some way, you slipped through the cracks and you're still here. And as you slip through the cracks and you're still here, even though you're not finding success, you have a lot of puzzle pieces, a lot of information, a lot of insight about yourself, about the market. And now it's a matter of putting all those things together, right, and really locking in. Because you have the pieces. All right, you probably know what it feels like to win big, lose big. Maybe you've blown an account before. You built up an account before. You have wins, you have losses. Right, so you're right there. You are right there. Okay, SPY, scale out. Tesla. Tesla calls. Now, Tesla stopped out on Tesla on my end. There was no real momentum behind Tesla. When I was in it, if you took Tesla off that daily open, double bottom off daily open, that was nice. So this was my Tesla trade earlier. Okay, go long here. Okay, stop was here. Peaked above it slightly and then completely collapsed. Okay, and then out there. So after that, Tesla came with that daily open, bounced off the daily open a couple of times, double bottom, starting to push into a double top now. Okay, so the ones who are under a year, guys, take your time. Okay, take your time. This is a profession, okay? All right, it is a profession, so take your time. Give yourself some grace. Start small. Stay small. Stay nimble. Okay, because you have to build your confidence somewhere. You have to build your confidence somewhere, somehow, if you want to get to the point where you're trading big. Okay? All right. 8 months, 6 months. Tesla 380 calls beautiful job, BW63. So a lot of you are under a year. So you have a lot of learning to do. I would say you're in good hands. You're making some tremendous strides. Stick to your process. Trust yourself. Okay, stay sharp. And then it's within you already. Okay, I always say it's within you already. It's already there. It's a matter of the resources and tools being there to help you bring it out. No, the indicator is a separate product. Okay, the indicator is a separate product. Currently, the indicator is available. Okay, if you do want to purchase the indicator, it is available on the site. Now, for the ones who did purchase, there's a handful of you who did purchase. Okay, hopefully you're getting used to the indicator. We just released it this month. All right, so it hasn't been around for long enough, and I'm already seeing people making some tremendous strides by using it, by getting used to it, and building trust. Okay, building trust with it. So use it with small size, build trust. If you need to sim trade, find your way, to find your edge, right? It just gives you the framework, does the heavy lifting, but there's a couple of tweaks that you can make on your own, okay? That fit within the system itself. And that indicator is available on our site. So if you want that indicator, that is available. We will do the giveaway, guys. We will do the giveaway at 150. Let's see if we get to 150 today. We're at 71 likes. We have 160 plus people joining us. First time viewers, let us know where you're joining from. And I always say, do you have any plan? Yeah, so the TOS, right? That's going to take me some time to get to convert everything into TOS. But eventually, when it does get there, it will be available. Okay, let's see if we can crack 4,900 subs today, guys. We're 8 subs away. The goal is 5K subs. 5K subs. And we'll go over how to get the indicator, how to join our community at 11:30. Okay, so make sure to do so. Next week is a fresh week. And for those of you who are done for the week, guys, make the adjustments. Regardless of how you end the week, where you're on the week, make the same adjustments. Next week, it looks like we're going to have a little more volatility. Reason being, we have more names reporting earnings, and we have the big names reporting earnings. On top of that, we have FOMC as well. Okay. So a lot of things taking place. So the only position I currently have right now is SoFi. SoFi is a swing for the May 20th. May 20th, and it's down about 7%. And again, what's really holding us back is the Dow, right? Qs are on fire. If the Dow could get above that 491, same level we discussed this morning, 491.88, we have a chance for SPY to really start to go. All right, we have a chance for SPY to really create that true separation, at least for a day. Okay, from 710. IW comes right into that 274.90, gets that bounce, continues to push. QQQ comes right into here, bounce. Crude still sitting right at that 95 in the jaws there. Gold, nice little push on gold, is back above that 4,700. Last night it did dip all the way into 46.56. Okay, scale out on SPY. Okay, so eventually, okay, say you take it here, you scale out. You take it here, you get stopped out. You take it here, I gave 2 entries. All right, never got stopped out prior to those entries. You scale out. You got 1 hour. You're holding runners. You mark it where your NC is. You have to do that manually because that can be different. Some people like to use EMAs. Some people like to use break even. Some people like to keep it at their full stop. Right? So that part is up to you. That's what the indicator allows you to do. The heavy lifting technical side is done for you. Look at Nvidia, guys. I mean, this thing is going to TP. It's beyond TP3. It is beyond TP3. So the only thing right now on Nvidia is 210. 210. Do you believe that? 210. So again, these are the areas that's coming. It's breaking those levels, retesting it, and riding that 9. Very shallow retests. Very, very shallow retests. And it's so cool to see people starting. I was saying earlier, in the beginning, right, there's no way for me, I say it jokingly, there's no way for me to have my beginner eyes anymore. And ignorance is truly a bliss sometimes when you are trading. Because when you do this for a long time, when you've been through the gauntlet, the ups, the downs, you can become overly technical, and that freedom disappears. In the beginning, you don't know what you don't know, so you can hold trades. All right. Sometimes the longer you do this, you're trying to capture the elements of that freedom you used to have. Not the ignorance of knowing what can happen if it goes the other way, but just being in a position and just, hey, you know what? This is where I enter. You don't have to be overly technical from the standpoint of if it's working in your favor. You know where your risk is. You're taking your profits where you need to. As opposed to when you do this for a long, long time, you can become overly technical. Right? You can become overly technical and shake yourself out of a good position with your technicals. So there's a fine line between technical and overly technical. Right? You're technical, okay? You're doing your due diligence to find the setups. You're overly technical. You're finding a way to get out of the position when the position is still looking good. All right, and that can fluctuate from time to time. If you do this for long enough, that can fluctuate. That part fluctuates. Right? So the fact that you're new, to some extent, that's an advantage. And just be mindful of the things you're learning. All right? So most of the time with trading, guys, it's a lot of things. If you learn things the wrong way from the very beginning, you have to do a lot of unlearning. Right? You have to do a lot of unlearning. You spend a year learning, and now you have to do a bunch of unlearning to learn something else. All right, so if you stick to the things that are important, right, the process, what we emphasize, the education, right, you're learning things the right way. So you're not going to have to do a lot of unlearning in the future. Okay. SPY is going. Qs are going. Okay. The link to the webinar this weekend, 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're interested in Shockwave, next week is the last week to purchase Shockwave. Okay. Next week is the last week to purchase Shockwave at Early Bird. Right, so it's not an annual subscription. It's once you have it for life. And rinse and repeat. Okay, make the most of it. It's the golden goose. All right, so I'm going to drop the link to the webinar. 4 p.m. Eastern. It's been moved. Okay. I have something to attend in the morning. Okay, so 4 p.m. Eastern, Shockwave webinar. I'm going to drop that on YouTube as well. We will do some back testing. We will go over some slides. We'll go over how it works. We'll go over everything you need to know. We'll take some questions as well. So for those of you who signed up already, you'll get a courtesy email if you want to attend. And the ones who did purchase, of course, you're going to attend as well. All right. So if you have any other questions, you've been using it for a couple of weeks, you've been using it for a few days, and you have any questions, you can bring those questions to our webinar. It's not going to be on YouTube. It's going to be in Google Meets, right? So here's a link to the webinar. Make sure to sign up. All I need is your name, of course, and your email. And the email is a purpose. The purpose is to send you the link, at Google Meets. All right. So make sure to sign up for it. Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Eastern. All right, and next week will be the last week to get Shockwave at Early Bird Special. Okay, that will be the last week. And some of you have asked me to bundle Shockwave into the subscription. All right, so I'll think of something special for May because I haven't done any offer for our 1 year stream anniversary, 1 year anniversary of being on YouTube, of building our community. So there will be something in May. Okay, maybe we'll package the Shockwave with a yearly plan and put Shockwave on the yearly, but we will see. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. No guarantees, but if you're on your hands on Shockwave right now for next week, this is where it is. All right, that's where it is, right on our site. Okay. Nvidia continues to go. SPY continues to go. So SPY just required a little patience. So in this case, I got whipsawed back and forth. I got tossed here back and forth. But eventually, price made that nice move to the upside. Grateful for my progress. Thank you, Coach G. Have a blessed day, everyone. Trading switch off. Beautiful job, Tuhin. Meta starting to go, Marv. Yep, Meta starting to go. Meta's above that 669.53. Amazon starting to fuel up once again. SPY hit TP1. So on a day like this, okay, SPY still hit TP1. On a day like this, SPY hit TP1. So SPY is on the verge of making all-time highs, guys. All-time highs, 712.38. 712.38. 712.38. Yeah, Meta going. Meta hit TP2. Apple today not going anywhere. Okay. If you haven't already, guys, make sure to leave a review on WAP. If you joined through WAP, leave a review on WAP. There's a link. So outside of SoFi, no horse in any race. Outside of SoFi, I don't have any horse in any race. Nvidia first 15-minute pullback on Nvidia. First 15-minute pullback on Nvidia here. First 15-minute pullback. Let's get the likes up, guys. We got 150 people in the check-in, 150 people tuning in. Let's get the likes up. 150 likes. We'll do the giveaway on this wonderful Friday. We'll look to take the stream until 12:30. We'll look to take the stream until 12:30. Nvidia first, pull back on the 5. We went engulfing candle, pulling back. So in this case, of course, the low-hanging fruit is hammer on the 9. But that hammer on the 9, we do have a pivot, not a key level, a pivot. This would be it. Very, very shallow. If you're waiting for that shallow pullback, if you're waiting for something deeper, gotta at least wait until it gets below 206. Okay, that is the shallow pullback, 9 EMA, that pivot, not a key level. At this point, Nvidia doesn't have any major key levels. It just has pivots. SPY is starting to slide after hitting TP1. Q's hit TP1. IW not doing much. Dow as flat as can be. And you saw the IV get jacked up on Nvidia. Okay. SPY's back in this rejection zone. $711.50 was that major break we saw yesterday. Be on the lookout for a hammer here. 5 for 5. 5-minute entry, 5-minute stop. That'd be the best way. So you're using a 5-minute candle for everything. We are seeing that continued selling on the 15. Okay, that 15 does show some selling pressure. Has 2 minutes left until a new 15-minute candle comes in. So unless this 5-minute candle goes hammer and breaks those highs, that 15-minute candle could lead to another 15-minute candle sell. Okay, 208.57 on Nvidia. If we go hammer, very tight risk right here. Of course, it's made a massive push higher. But if there's anything left, that can be the earliest, shallowest entry for continued push. If you're looking for something deeper, you're going to have to wait at least until below 207 or all the way back at that 204.85 territory. In that case, I'll take Nvidia above 208.57, 5 for 5. That'll be the lotto for today. All right, so the main thing for me today was just be a little patient. Okay, been patient all week, been patient, doing a good job on the patience, and today wasn't as patient. Okay, let's see if Nvidia can break those highs. I'm looking at the 210s. Those are great lottos. If you can hold that 208.57, that would be great. That 5-minute candle shaping up before even it gives a breaker. Okay, so I want the 5-minute candle to hold up. I want it to hold above here because it went engulfing. 208.71. If you took that already, good, good, good. If you're waiting for that retest, 208.64, you can still use that same 5-minute candle. You can still use that 207.90 as your risk. Look at Nvidia, guys. Look at Nvidia. You know, take that bounce on Nvidia. Okay, George, like T-Mobile, which started this trend, subscription consists of monthly charges and device charges. Once the device cost is recovered, then the only subscription. See if we can pull back slightly here. That T-Mobile business model. Okay, that one took off above that 208.65, even before that 5-minute. So this was the area for Nvidia. Very shallow territory. 9 EMA coming in. Right there. So this is what was shared with our strikers. Keep in mind we're in the jaws of a sell block on the 5, inside on the 15. If we can knock out those highs, the party continues. Knock out those highs, party continues. So if your risk was basically 207.90, 208.68, you recouped probably double digits there on Nvidia. And we're officially in third shift. Meta, yeah, Meta's gone. Yeah, it's neck and neck between Meta. Meta is looking to get that 675. Meta's at TP. Meta hit TP2. Meta's at TP2. So this is a scalp opportunity on Nvidia. Just a scalp. Start to have a scalp. Your stop is 207.90, 5 for 5. All right, the 5 for 5 method. Okay, Apple. You eluded me earlier. Apple finally broke down. All right, so when you're playing those breakdowns, sometimes you have to wait for that structural break. If you're going to take anything away, if you're going to be wrong, just be wrong in accordance to your plan, okay? So sometimes you have to just learn vicariously. APL coming into play. We know Apple has a tendency to do its own thing. Okay, we're seeing Google starting to ramp up here. Palantir not going anywhere, still at that trigger. Anyone taking Nvidia on that scalp? If you took Nvidia, good. To the upside. So that'll be the approach. If you miss that entire move, just to wait. Let two things line up. Beautiful job, David. No, that's 40 cents per con. That's really good. It's $40 in minutes. All right. And Nvidia continues. And that's that first 9. Right? 9, you're mine. 9, you're mine. So those contracts essentially went from 37 cents, okay, at these lows all the way to $100. It's about 60, 70, go 70, 80 bucks per contract. That's the power of options. The power of options. Okay, Apple. Ooh, Microsoft is coming into play. Microsoft is coming into play to the upside. Apple coming into play to the downside. Microsoft has a hurdle right at that hourly 50 MA, so that's that initial runway. And that'll hit TP3, guys. So even if you missed Nvidia Shockwave, right, this is the kind of thing you're going to mark out. All right, so of course you can wait for the pullback into here. You can wait for the pullback into there. But what is the shallowest place to get involved? Okay, where is the area where buyers who missed this move are more than willing to pay? Okay. It's not always going to come back for a healthy pullback. If the push is like this, if the push is this steep, that's basically what Nvidia is. If we can encapsulate that push, all right, the initial pullbacks is going to be like this. And then when the dips start getting a little bigger and they start to show weakness off of those lows, that's when you start to see a potential push back to downside. Okay. And Nvidia's headed toward 210. Nvidia is headed towards 210. AAPL, put watch via Shockwave. Biggest danger here, double bottom. If that doesn't show up, we break below that, then we get that complete flush into 269.12. So let's rule out that double bottom, and Apple will be available. So my attempt here, guys, earlier was this breakdown here into that flush. Okay, into the flush. So if that 15-minute candle on SPY starts to curl, it's going to further help Apple. If SPY falls below 711.50, same thing that happened yesterday. If from a technical standpoint can look to happen today. But only difference is we didn't have a news catalyst in this case. So I'm looking at the 270s on Apple. Okay, let's see if that comes to fruition. Put status. Now, SPY shenanigans time, all right? SPY shenanigans time. Okay, Apple. See if you can use the push. I want that close. Okay, and the next 15 seconds, I want Apple to close right there. If you took Apple already, manage accordingly. Know what your risk is. On Apple, my risk is going to be 270.83. 278.83. 279.83. Okay, Apple's starting to push. Okay, I'll take Apple there. I'm taking the 267.50s. As low as can be. And let's see if I can take this all the way to those lows. Betting on this holding down here. My risk being here. Okay, so if it gets above here, it gets stopped out. See if these contracts can go lotto. So I want them to go to 269.12 and this target 268.60. Okay. If you did take Apple, manage accordingly. These contracts are only 15 cents. So if we move 250, they will go to about $90 cents. So if we make an entire move on the ladder, we'll move that entire point. All right, if you took it with closer dated contracts or closer strike contracts, feel free to TP. So Apple, this will be the lotto for the day. Yeah, if you sign up already, guys, let me get caught up in the chat, then it's not going to let you sign up. Okay. So the nature of those contracts, since they're one out the money, the percentages are going to look radical because of the price of those contracts. So you saw when it dropped a little bit, it was up 14%. Okay, 20% up. Beautiful, beautiful. Nvidia, beautiful job. About 1 minute and 30 seconds left on this 15-minute candle, and we will be getting that 15-minute candle. So I want that 15-minute candle on Apple to close below those lows. SPY is going triple top here, mean reversion, grabbing those highs. So SPY looks like it's running out of room here, right? You can see. So now let the price action confirm that. So if it can break below that 711.50 on the 15, breaks below that, then it can start to work its way back towards where it got, back towards where, guys? All the way back towards the infamous 710. If it stays above that, then it's going to try to push its way to that all-time high. Okay. Good catch on the Nvidia puts at those very highs. At 209.92. Here we go. Here we go. Shenanigans. All-time highs. SPY just made all-time highs. Here we go. Look at this. This is the market in 2026. Look at this, guys. Like, what is this? Look at this, guys. Like, look at this. Shenanigans. So the shenanigans begins. So hopefully no one's caught up in there. I do have the Apple Lottos. They're down 14. Okay, that's signed up for that. So this is the only way we can make all of those all-time highs. This kind of activity. Look at the time on sale. Anyone seeing this? Look at this. There must be something going on here. Apple is now up 14. Like, it's ridiculous. The contracts don't even know how to price this in. All right. SPX, beautiful job. Beautiful job. Some of our team members caught that. 130%. Look at that, guys. Apple's up 21%, 21% TP if you need to. Okay, so this was the only method we took to break those highs, right? The aggressive appearance. And if they trap this, this is vicious. Because that level up that was provided this morning, guys, 713.68 right there. Okay, feel free to TP on Apple. It is up double digits. All right, if you're holding it through, so be it. Just want to bring that to your attention. We are seeing crude falling off a cliff here slightly. Okay, SoFi getting lifted. SoFi getting lifted. So I'm going to hold SoFi, no alteration to the position. I'm going to hold SoFi over the weekend. All right, I'm going to hold it over the weekend. Gap up will be nice. If I can get to 20 by next week, we should see before. If we get to 20 by that's a tough task. But if it can't get to 20, if it starts to rally, right? What we tend to see, guys, is sometimes before earnings, a particular name has a catalyst, some kind of news-driven push higher. Okay, if that's the case, that'd be great. The contract's literally doubled in that one candle 100%. Beautiful job, Turbo. Beautiful job, Lambish. We are all-time highs. So again, those levels, guys, it came from this morning. All right, we don't have any levels above this, but we have levels. I did provide those levels above all-time highs. 212.82, 713.68. Look at that rejection right there. And then 715. Okay. So make sure, get into the habit that you go over You go over the game plan every single morning. Qs. What a spike on the Qs. Nice breakout Microsoft. There goes IW. Now IW joins the party. Let's just go to our game plan chart. Where are we, guys? So we got this sporadic bounce there. Heavy influx of buyers. Looked programmed there, right? And then of course now we're at the top of this channel. So SPY made all-time highs. SPY is at all-time highs. SPY is at all-time highs. What kind of candle do we get there on the 15? It is overextended, so be careful if you're looking to buy at those all-time highs or at this candle. Let it cool off a little bit. The ones who got rewarded on our team, they were probably positioned already. And then that candle just happened to get printed. Apple. See if that level can hold. No close above it yet. Look at this, guys. All-time highs. All-time highs. Everything's getting lifted on this Friday. Okay, Apple Lotto's about to get stopped out. Okay, stopped out there. So 4 trades, all 4 stopped out today. Only thing I'm holding over the weekend is SoFi. SoFi calls May 15th. Apple did see some green on Apple upwards of 28, but again, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for a complete drop into 269.12. The risk being up there. So SoFi, our horse in the race. Let's take a look at SoFi. So that's actually our first swing trade of the month. So multi, more than a week out. SoFi. Okay, so now SoFi. The big obstacle on SoFi is right here. 1870. If we can somehow, some way engineer a path to get above 1870 today, we'll be in good shape. Okay, give this a run for its money. Because what I'm really looking to play is I'm really looking to get an early entry into this attempt. So if it does break, I'm already solid green. It goes bright green into 19. If it doesn't break, starts to push back lower, then you get stopped out at your stop or your break even. So I'm really positioning myself for this break, but with an early entry. Okay. All right. So look at that, guys. All-time highs, history in the making. That's 4 consecutive days for the Qs, all-time highs. Nvidia now. Okay. Prior to Apple, that was a previous idea. I'm Apple size to 0. Yeah, those contracts were very cheap. Yeah, for lottos, you can size to 0, you can size to 50%. But if you size to 0, your TP can't be 10%. Right? If your risk is 50%, right, my TP can be 5%. You can get away with it in the short run, but over time, it's gonna bleed into your statistics. Look at Nvidia. So Nvidia did bounce there. So on that note, we'll be done for the week. I was in the puts on Apple. Next trim for Nvidia. Uh, 210. See if Nvidia can get to 210. So I did get stopped out there on Apple on that conservative risk. Again, guys, make sure to like the video. And this massive candle comes in. And we're at all-time highs, guys. We're on our way to 715. 715. Google finally broke. AMD can't stop making all-time highs. Still holding though. Only thing I have is SoFi. I'll hold SoFi over the weekend. All right, so we're finally able to create separation away from that 710. Now, how long can we stay away from 710? It's been a volatile relationship over the past week or so. %. Spreads are very, very important, right? Amazon all-time highs. Yeah, Tesla just doing its own thing, 100%. 100%. Tesla doesn't want to do anything. Tesla's, you know what? I'm clocking out today. Don't feel like doing anything today. Meta, out of here. Google, out of here. Microsoft trying to push. Got that nice little break above that 420.37 into that 50 EMA on the hourly. Right, nice little room there. ExxonMobil continues to fall off a cliff. So big adjustment for me going to next week is the more I incorporate these individual names into the fold, the sharper I have to be. Okay, sharper I have to be. You have to be sharper. Have to be more diligent. SPY, of course, whenever the opportunity is there, we'll take that opportunity. But if I'm going to incorporate those names consistently into the fold, being sharp is going to be very, very important, right? Because it just takes that if you lose focus, if you don't look at if you're not looking at it properly, right, you can miss that opportunity. So being sharp would be my primary adjustment to make over the weekend. Overall, the risk management, that's the one thing that's my non-negotiable. If you don't have your non-negotiable yet, over the weekend, have one thing you're not willing to waver. Have one thing you're not willing to waver. Okay, so one thing you're not willing to change, if it's your risk management, if it's your TP, whatever it is. Okay, so next week, there will be some tremendous opportunities, but guess what? We will have some volatility. All right, there is some things for us to take into consideration. FOMC, GDP, PCE. Okay. You go. That's what we got. Consumer confidence on Tuesday. President Trump speaks at 12 o'clock p.m. on Saturday. Monday, calm before the storm. Okay, think of Monday as positioning. Okay, everyone's positioned themselves for the upcoming catalyst. So we can see a lot of back and forth. So FOMC on Wednesday, rate decision. We're probably going to keep rates the same. I don't foresee a cut or a hike. We can take a look at poly market to look at the money line. FOMC statements, press conference, we will have this. On Wednesday, mark that on your calendar, we will do an all-day stream. Okay, all-day stream into the FOMC press conference. After that, Thursday, GDP. And then Friday's May 1st. So on Friday, ramp down Friday next week is a new monthly candle. Okay, on top of that, from an economic calendar perspective, on top of that, guys, this can be found in the Discord, okay? Boom. On Wednesday, FOMC day, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, SoFi, Alphabet, Qualcomm, Chipotle. Okay, you can take Chipotle and Humana off the list, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 names, or these 5 names, massive names. The next day, Apple, new CEO. You got SanDisk, SNDK, just hit 1,000. Okay, before that, what do we got? We got Robinhood, we got Visa, we got Bloom, Seagate, Visa. Okay, so we are in the heart of earnings season here. All right, this will be the busiest week of the quarter. Busiest week of the quarter. From an economic calendar standpoint and from an earnings standpoint, this week here. After this week, it just gets lighter. Okay, just think of the market cap on these names. Okay. Multi-trillion, 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 multi-trillion. Okay, some big players reporting earnings next week. After that, we have more earnings: Palantir, AMD, Shopify, Disney, Uber, but it's a little bit less, a little lighter, but still heavy, but lighter in relation to the week that we're going to go into. And then on the 20th, the very end of the month, we have Nvidia. Okay, so jam-packed week next week, so make sure to tune in next week. All right, make sure to join the community if you haven't already. Make sure to use the link pinned in the description. Use the code April. We have about 7 spots left. Last I checked, use those 7 spots. Make sure to join, align yourself with our team, align yourself with the resources and the tools to give yourself the best chance to capitalize on these opportunities. Let's see how close we get to 5K. The goal for this month is, of course, guys, to get to 5K subs. So make sure to hit the like button. Try to get as close as possible to 4,900. We're almost there. Okay. Almost there. So help us get there. We can only get there through your support. So Nvidia already ran up. As we saw this impulsive push higher, Nvidia didn't do much. Okay. Nvidia's inside on the hourly. If you hang on to Apple, right? Now say view up as your risk or aggressive. Okay. Maybe you're seeing a little less drawdown if you size to 0. You're seeing a little less drawdown. Size to 0 or make or break just means the entire contract is your risk. Okay. In Tesla, Ken. Yeah, Tesla just seems like it doesn't want to. Just flat, completely flat. Now, calls or puts? Calls, okay. So depending on if you're in drawdown or in profit, it is coming into this daily open in this last bit of support. All right, so let's see if you get a relief pop off that. And we know Tesla has some resistance up here. So that's what Tesla's doing. Tesla's just sandwiched. Buyers are willing to budge. Sellers are willing to budge. They're saying, hey, you know what? You can do what you want between this territory, but as soon as we get into this areas, we're going to buy it up. We come into that territory, we're going to sell it off. That's what Tesla's been up to. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any questions? 100 likes will do the giveaway. So make sure to, 150 likes will do the giveaway. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. I don't like how it does that every time. All right, so those levels, guys, no surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise. What happens, we don't know when it's going to happen, but at least when it does happen, you have some levels to gauge something. Because now we're starting to stall at the 713.68. All right, that we've never been there before. So I do have a video on the channel that goes over how to draw these levels, and that's the technique I use. Here, 713.68, I should say, right there. Yeah, 713.68, right here. After that is 715. After 715, I got it all the way to 716.84, 718.41. So those are all the levels between 718 and 700. Those are all reasonable levels that we can use or we can gauge price around. And 700 being the extreme to the downside, 718.41 being the extreme to the downside. Or the extreme to the upside. Okay. So that level's all the way up here. So 718 right there. 718.41. And 700 all the way down here. Extreme to the downside. All right, we're starting to sell off here, right off of that 713.68. 713.68. See if Apple can take a leg lower as well. So when everything ran up, Apple just bounced off those lows just slightly. Beautiful job. 2 contracts, 447. Beautiful job, Cooper. look at that, just like that. Okay. All right, we're headed towards that 712.82. Let me have a quick seat here, guys. Okay, back to downside we go. Okay, game plan chart. So what do we do here? What do we do? We ran right up into that top of the channel. We ran right up at the top of that channel. And now, if that 15-minute candle stays inside, starts to break down, goes 212, we can start to see it work back toward that 712.84. So rejection, 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 and then boom, rejection. So if you're using the 15-minute, we do have an inside candle here. So let this inside candle get settled. Okay, let that close out. And you can go 15 for 15. Only issue is we're inside on the hourly. So if you're looking for that, the hourly break, hourly continuation is above these highs. All right, so if that inside candle closes out, this would be, if you want to play the invalidation of that push higher, you're going to look to something along these lines. Okay, so 1-to-1 would be basically back at the jaws of that rejection zone. That's a 1-to-1. 2-to-1 would be all the way back into that 711.50 territory, slightly below it. If we take out these highs, we can start to see that continue to push, and the buying continues on the hourly. Right? And the most important level now becomes that 50% retrace of that hourly candle. So as long as we stay above that hourly candle's 50% retrace after taking it out, there's a slight lean to the upside for that particular for that hour. If we take that out and fall below that 50% retrace of that hourly candle, then there's a chance that we can go 3 down. Okay, so that would be the next approach. So, but context is key. It's OPEX midday 12:12. Made all-time highs. Outside of this move here, it's been a slugfest. It's been a slow grind. It's been a slow grind. All right, we're inside on the hour, inside on the 15. Okay. Check out our chat. Check out our team. Done for the day. See you guys next week. Absolutely, guys. If you're signing off, have a great weekend. All right. Enjoy your weekend. Take some time off the charts. Make the proper adjustments regardless of where you are on the spectrum. And then next week, we do have a jam-packed week to say the least. All right. FOMC, the heart of earnings season. We're flirting with all-time highs. So if this is the kind of action we're going to see on Monday, patience will be imperative. On SPY, and being nimble on these individual names will be critical as well. That would be the best approach. Okay? That will be the best approach. Google plans to invest about $40 billion in Anthropic. So Alphabet, $40 billion investment, circular economy returns, Anthropic. That was a beautiful catch in the puts, David. Was it this break right here? Good catch. That break right there. That could possibly be 20%. That break or catching it off some of these highs here. That looks like a 20% territory, 20% return territory. Beautiful. VIX, guys, 1874. Okay. VIX, 1874. %. See profit, take profit. All right. That's a recipe for success. Whether it's a blowout, whether it's a win by one, a win is a win. What's going on with the Knicks? Any Knicks fans? Any Knicks fans? That was a good game. Now, if you try to watch any of the games, the NBA games, you got to shuffle through, like, how many streaming services? But I do like the Amazon Prime stream because you can do a multi-view, which is a pretty cool feature. Pistons, is it tied 1-1 for the Pistons? Are they tied up? Is it tied up there? Let's see. Raptors got it done. That was a must win. Yeah, 1-1, tied up. All right, back to the normal back and forth, chop, chop, chop. Sporadic move, chop, 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 sporadic move. Apple rejecting off that VWAP, Microsoft off that VWAP. Okay, past 12 o'clock, we can take this off. So we were following this, and we just made a parabolic push there. Rematch with the Knicks. The Knicks might get eliminated. All right, if they don't win the next game, that's a must-win. That's a must-win for the Knicks. That is a must-win for the Knicks. Hawks, Hawks, that was a nice game. That was a good game. Let's get caught up on the chat. 20% puts, beautiful job buying the dip here. Now you got to trade. Is hoping your premium area you can go higher. Good trading. There you go. 715. Yeah, that was a nice push into close to 715. Might need a little more juice to get to 715. A little more. Let me pop out the chat. You can risk 100. Take the lotto hedge, risk 100 for Freaky Friday. For what, puts or calls? Jimmy. Yeah, YouTube TV also allows you to do that 4 at once. Yeah, it's neck and neck. Streaming wars. Streaming wars. How long you been trading? Around 2018. So almost 10 years. Not 10 years yet. So got into it through investing and learning about the market naturally, then investing, then you want to learn more, and then you go to swing, and then you go all the way down. Right? It's like you start with okay, let me learn about stocks. Okay, investing. Okay, you start investing. Okay, let me learn about something else, and then eventually you end up in day trading. So I went from the higher time frame, the longer period perspective, all the way down to the 1 minute. You know, before COVID, it was the most recent one I remember was a trade war. Right? If you remember the trade wars in 2018. December 2018, I believe it was December 2018, Right, that massive sell-off, trade wars, tensions between China and U.S. picking up. So during this administration, you have to be on your toes, right? Because you can either lose a lot or win a lot. You can either lose a lot, win a lot, because there's always something going on. Wow, 30 plus years. Wow, that's a ton of experience. That's a ton of experience. Anyone else been trading for 10 plus years? 10 plus years in the game. If you've been trading for 10 plus years, put a 1 in the chat. Because most of the chat is saying they've been trading less than a year. 39% said 39% of the chat said 0 to 1 years. And so it's basically 73% of the chat has been trading for under 3 years. 30 plus. So we have people that have been in it for 30 plus years. 2 people on YouTube, 30 plus years. Combined experience, 60 years. 4 to 5 years. Seven, 8 years. Does training grounds? Yeah, why not? I mean, if you've been, meaning like you're just aware of the market, you're actively trading. Right? You're actively trading, even if it's on and off. But you were bit by the trading bug. So wealth of experience on YouTube, wealth of experience in our community. $23 years for Scooter. 3 years. So we have a lot of people that have been in the game for either a very long time or getting started to sophomore, junior type of trading experience. And that's an awesome dynamic. So for those of you who are trading 30 years ago, right, 30 years of experience, you saw the markets, you saw a lot, right? Even how technology now, maybe you were trading with the phone, right? How electronic trading came into play. You saw different fads come and go. You saw different names come and go, different strategies come and go. And we're lucky, especially in this generation, guys. We just get to click buttons, right? Tesla, $3 away from PT. Yeah, Tesla's not doing anything, all right? See if Tesla can make that move. Last bet for Tesla. Okay, made that bounce off of here. Okay, like we were discussing here, I made that bounce, but it needs to break out of this. This support needs to hold before the selling pressure overwhelms the support. And by using the support, the buyers need to push this thing past here. That's a tall task. That's the only way. Right? Only thing now is time is passing. right? So now the theta starts to kick in. Are those today's contracts, next week's contracts, Ken? $3 away, so maybe a push. Okay, it's like right there, like basically right into here. So need one more rally off of the support into these highs up here. So to get that rally, that support needs to act as support. Let me take a look at XLY. XLY is moving nicely. Okay, nice little move on XLY. All right, so it's trending to the upside, the sector, but it's probably being lifted by Amazon. All right, Amazon, you can see. Okay, so Amazon's probably lifting up XLY. Let's check back on our good friend Nvidia. Nvidia is hitting its head on that wall. 210. Okay, now Nvidia is going sideways. So there's a couple things to look for here, of course. This is resistance until proven otherwise. Okay. Nvidia's signal came in here. Our team members, they did a phenomenal job. TPs anywhere from 15, 20%, upwards of 500, 600, 700, 800%. It breaks out, makes that massive run up. Okay, that's that leg. And now it's going back and forth. So nice markup. All right, so once this is all said and done, if the buyers don't pick it up above that 210, continue to push it higher, there's a possibility for us to see a mark down. All right, so it's going to come down to who can take control here. If they can get it above 210, continue to push, then Nvidia starts to continue to push into where's Nvidia's all-time highs. Nvidia's all-time highs are Nvidia's all-time highs are 212.19. That's what this back and forth is for. All right, so 210 break, decisive hold, flip that resistance to support. We have room to that all-time high. We get a rejection after that 210, come back into the support, flip the support into resistance. Okay, then it starts to mark back lower into prior day highs. That's where Nvidia is. On the hourly, on the 15, Nvidia continues to show signs of being bullish. Nvidia continues to show signs of being bullish. Okay. All right, we'll look to wrap it up here soon, guys. It is Friday. SPY made all-time highs. QQQ made all-time highs. We'll do one last breakdown before we wrap up to know where we are. We'll get that clip recorded and posted on the channel. All right, so we'll do a wrap-up here in 12:45. We will go over how to join the community. We'll do our call to action, how to join, as well as the webinar time to attend the webinar and to see if we can do the giveaway. Okay, that 150, the elusive 150 giveaway. We're at 103. Let's see if we can crack that today. We're at 103 likes. Mike? Wow, I watched my father trade out of the stock phone. Freaky Friday Lotto for fun. Good, good, good. Two years trading and setting scripts and rejection scripts. Okay. Okay, let's do our weekly wrap up. See where we are in the bigger picture. If we're at 150 likes, we'll do the giveaway. We will do our call to action, and then we'll look to wrap it up, guys. All right? So, to webinar tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, that's been changed. So, if you want to sign up for the webinar, I'll drop the link at the very end. If you are in the Discord, the webinar link is here. Go to announcements. I'll also drop that in the WAP in the free tier Discord. The webinar link is now has been changed. Okay. If you're in the free tier Discord, I will put it in the trader feed as well. Okay. 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're in the free tier Discord, you'll have access to sign up. On YouTube, I'll drop the link. Here's the link. All right, so let's do our weekly wrap up and go over everything, go over some tickers. Yeah, you can attend the webinar. Once again, guys, you can attend as many times as you want. I'm going to be sending a courtesy email for those of you who signed up already. So if you sign up already, it's a Google form. I have your email already, so I'm going to send a mass email out to everyone who signed up previously. So if you don't want to attend, just ignore the email. If you do, you will be receiving an email. All right, this would be our third webinar on Shockwave. All right, because next week is the last week for early bird special. After that, it goes back to regular price. So again, I want to give you more insight on how to use the tool. I want to get the ones who did make the purchase. You can jump in as well, ask questions. Okay. Let's get right into it. All right, let's do our weekly wrap up. No data here, okay. All right, so first things first. Let's go to SPY. Let's go to all the indexes. And let me make sure to record this. I'll be posting this on YouTube. Give me 1 second. Okay, 1 second here. Okay. Yes, you can, Richie. Apple, nice rejection off that VWAP. PML. This is your weekly stock market recap for the week, Friday, April 24th. So we're going to go over a couple of names to get you up to speed on what took place this week. So first things first, on the S&P SPY ETF, we did see a massive push into all-time highs after a couple of days of consolidation of indecision. We did see that massive move take place over the handful of days. That 14-day streak, right? That 14-day streak has come to an end. We took a pause. That 14-day streak comes to an end. We took a pause for a couple of days, and now we're back at all-time highs. And now SPY is flirting with that 715 territory, and that's a realistic level we can see SPY push into. First things first, the EMAs are starting to fan out. So this trend is still strong. If you're looking to catch this, if you're looking to catch pullbacks into EMAs, that 9 EMA is at that 703.15. That means you're going to have to wait for at least a 10-point drop to catch that. So that's out of the picture. So the main thing is don't chase at those all-time highs. During this week, we saw SPY dip into the jaws of the gap, this major gap. It dipped into it a couple of times, got bought back up every single time, and now it gets pushed to the upside. So from the very lows of the conflict in the Middle East, we are up 13.24%, and a total of, guys, let me get the latest read, 85 points off those lows. And year to date, the SPY is now up 4%. SPY is now up 4%. So we're on pace to hit double digits by the end of the year, as long as we stay above that 685.71. Next name is the Qs. Unlike SPY, the Qs had a phenomenal week this week, right? They made back-to-back all-time highs. They made all-time highs 3 days in a row. So the Qs mega cap tech names had their way this week. Of course, we had that major resistance territory here on the Qs. We broke it. We turned to support. And now the Qs off of those lows are up 107 points off the lows. Off those lows from we'll call them the Iran war lows. They're up 107 points, 20% off those lows. And year to date, the Qs might be peaking into double-digit return. Okay, year to date, the Qs are looking to almost get to double digits on the year. So the Qs had tremendous strength. Mega cap tech names did show up. So the major support territory to pay attention to the Qs is right here, right? What's going to be required for us to come back into this territory? Okay, we're going to have to get some kind of sell-off. All right, that might take us a couple of weeks to get back in here. Why? That would require us to sell off for about 4%, 25 to 26 points from where we are now. All right, so that retest, of course, everyone's going to look to wait for that, but that's not going to be available. It's not going to be made available in the short term within the next 3 to 5 days, unless we get some major shift, major events escalating in the Middle East. As of now, the healthiest one is, of course, that daily 9 EMA. We have not come back and tested that daily 9 EMA. We still fly above that daily 9 EMA. So at some point in time, we need to come back to that daily 9 EMA and give it a test. As far as the Dow is concerned, so SPY made all-time highs this week, especially today on Friday. Qs made 3 all-time highs in a row consecutively. The Dow is the only one that has not made those all-time highs from the lows that we saw this year, 2026. So the Dow is up a respectable 10% off those lows, right? But has not made those all-time highs yet. It seems like the Dow is a little bit contained and can't seem to move, but the Dow is setting up nicely off that 9 EMA in the jaws of this gap. So more than likely, if this gap holds up, that daily gap holds up, we can see buyers trying to prop this thing back up, and that 9 EMA is right there. And if the Dow decides to be the lagger, we start to see some rotation into the Dow next week. We can potentially see a nice break in the Dow. Okay, a nice little break in the Dow. We can become bullish on the Dow as long as it holds above this that gap up we did see on Wednesday, April 15th. Right, so we do have a little bit of resistance there, but the Dow does have a little bit of room left to push into all-time highs. So if we do see a little bit of rotation out of the mega cap tech names, the Qs, if they take a little pause, if we see rotation into Dow, that can lead to a nice structural push to the upside. Last but not least, IWM. Right, IWM has already made all-time highs. Did get above that 271.60 or 271.50, and came back into it, retested it. So it did retest that yesterday. That retest took place yesterday, the 9 EMA, and that key level. We got that nice little bounce. So IWM is on the verge of making all-time highs, and that all-time high, the new all-time high on IWM, after making those all-time highs on Tuesday, is 279.79. So on the verge of getting to 280. So we're seeing the market at all-time highs, guys. If you're looking to buy, right, again, I can't tell you what to do. This might be the time not to buy anything and just be on standby. All right, if you're looking to buy, be on standby. If you're looking to trade, especially intraday trade, day trade, there's going to be opportunities regardless of where we are. But especially for the ones looking to buy, we're overextended. The opportunity already came and went. Now it's a matter of just reaping your fruit, okay? Reaping what you sowed a couple of weeks ago, and not looking to plant here. You're not looking to plant here, okay, unless you're dollar cost averaging and looking way, way far out. All right. As far as some individual names are concerned, we did see AMD make a nice push to the upside. AMD at 350, all-time highs there, massive gap up. TSM, okay, all-time highs. MU, all-time highs. Broadcom, all-time highs. What do those all have in common? They're all in the semiconductor space. All right, so the semiconductor space makes all-time highs. SMH also makes all-time highs, of course. Right, and they were the first ones out the gate to make all-time highs when we had that reversal. All right, so again, we can see SMH is now up 41% on the year off those lows. 41%. What a recovery off those lows that SMH has made. Some other names we can cover as well. Nvidia is the only one. Nvidia is the laggard in the bunch. So Nvidia, a name like Nvidia, is the laggard in the bunch, and we can start to see Nvidia making a push into all-time highs as it runs, as it travels, as it trades through this runway into that all-time high. To give you context, Nvidia has not made all-time highs since October 2025, and now it's about less than $1.50 away from making all-time highs. So Monday, if semis continue to show strength, we can see Nvidia start to run. So that's going to be a high watch on Monday. Nvidia, Google. Okay, Google on the verge of making all-time highs. All-time highs on Google is going to be that 350.15. Meta, all the way back at that 675. Meta reclaimed that 200 EMA decisively. Nice decisive reclaim at 200 EMA. Meta still has a few things to do before it gets to 700 and gives this resistance a run for its money. So Meta is still brewing. Apple 270, see if that 270 can hold. Apple did break out nicely this week. All right, and it came into this resistance territory this week. We discussed how Apple can break out of here, but has a limited runway. It can start to run out of space in that area. So again, if Apple can come back into this territory, all right, uses as support with that 9 EMA, it can recalibrate itself and try to make another run to that resistance. If it just continues to fade, no buyers hold, we can start to see Apple slide back lower. But again, let's see if that retest comes into play on Apple. At 266.44 on Apple will be key to watch next week. JPM is on the verge of getting to 310. On the verge of getting to 310. Also very similar to Apple. Nice break was starting to fade. Coming to test that 20. Walmart on the verge of getting to that 130. Right? Critical level there. Walmart, nice break. Right? But not the cleanest move to the upside. Nice break, not the cleanest move. But it did continue to push. Walmart's all-time highs, 134.65. And of course, ExxonMobil did get that bounce. That was on watch this week. Did get that nice little bounce and now starting to fade. If we're going to see that just relentless push into that 717, 720 next week, and the conflict in the Middle East continues to die down, all right, it just kind of just cools off. It's not in the headlines as much. If Exxon breaks these lows, okay, if it decisively breaks these lows, no longer treats it as support, we can start to see everything take off. Okay, over the weekend, you do want to pay attention to Bitcoin. Over the weekend, okay, you do want to pay attention to Bitcoin. If you are a Bitcoin trader, Bitcoin is trading in this channel. Bitcoin is looking to potentially push, right? That 200 EMA is at that 82,000. But before you even get there, okay, I want to see if Bitcoin can make a sneaky push over the weekend into 80K. All right, the last time Bitcoin was at 80K was a while back. Right, a lot of the Bitcoin traders want this thing to get to 80K, and that's going to be a critical milestone if we can get there. But of course, that 80K will be critical to watch over the weekend. All right, so that brings you up to speed as far as what took place this week. Next week, okay, we do have multiple catalysts to be aware of. Starting off with the earnings Wednesday. Okay, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, SoFi, Alphabet, Qualcomm report. Apple reports on Thursday. And of course, we have FOMC rate decision. Okay, so next week, be prepared for next week. We're going to see some volatility next week. The likelihood of us getting a rate hike or a rate cut are going to be predicated on let's see what Polymarket says. I'm leaning towards no cut, no hike. Probably leaning towards no cut either. Let me look it up. So what does the money say? Fed decision, no change, 99%. Okay, so unless Powell decides to go rogue, the chance of us getting no change, no cut or no hike, 99% chance. Okay. So that was the quick recap, guys. Again, Bitcoin over the weekend, see if it continues to push. We do have that major resistance there. That can really start to put that risk on sentiment back into play. All right, we know we use the 70K, 75K to gauge the risk on sentiment from level to level. But if it can get above that 80K, not slightly, because if it just does this, we know it's going to do this. Sometimes what happens is you just get this. So this is what we need. Bitcoin to have a lot of strength over the weekend. If it can do that, go from 80 to 82, hold above 82 by Monday, all right, more than likely everything is going to continue to push forward. But if it wants to take this natural path and do this, more than likely we reject there, we refuel back up there, and until one of those sides gives, but giving a 60-40 probability to this breakdown rather than this breakout. All right, the steeper it gets, the more heavier that support becomes. Okay, that's where we are. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Again, if you're looking to join the Discord, we'll go over that as well. And there are 6 spots left. Okay, 6 spots left. Once those are filled up, there'll be no more spots available to join outside of the yearly tier. So make sure to join. Go to smartactiontraining.com. Go to the community tab. Okay, go to the community tab, and then you'll have access to join. When you do go to that tab, guys, make sure to use the code April if you want to save 15% on your first month. Okay, not that one. All right, that hack is there. So I forgot to update that link. So if you're trying to get in for $50, before I update it, use this link here. Okay, use this link here. All right, but normally what you want to do is click the community tab. Just click the community tab. Once you get there, okay, click join. Use the code April. Use the code April. Okay, use the code April. It will lead you to this page. Not sure why there's white now, but okay, we'll go with that. Use the code April and you save 15%. All right, you'll have access to all the resources, all the tools you need, full access to the Discord, live trading, screen share, ad-free, delay-free stream. pre-market prep stream, extended trading coverage, high win rate ideas, real-time options flow data, AI-based ideas and alerts, 2,000 plus hours of trading video for you to go back and review, ebook, 24/7 stock market newsfeed, and so many things. If you're looking to upgrade to yearly, I do have that yearly special pinned up in the chat for our strikers. $399, 12 months access, 4 months free, bonus coaching call, and the boot camp ticket as well. All right, that comes with your purchase. So when the boot camp date gets announced, you have access. You have automatic access to that. You don't need to purchase it. Shockwave 15, the indicator we've been using, that's been giving us some way to maneuver through these markets. This wild times is available as well. That ends April 30th. If you're looking to attend that webinar, the link is pinned in the link is in the chat. Okay, the link is in the chat. Just scroll up and you'll find that Shockwave 15 webinar in the chat. Click it, sign up for it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so everything is available directly on our site. Everything is available. If you have any questions, let me know, guys. If not, we'll look to wrap it up here. Okay. As always, if you are done for the day, be done. If you're still in the trenches, be very careful. Exercise maximum caution. Open up the wrong chart. It's been one long week. Okay, one long week, and next week is not going to get any easier. It's going to be more challenging. So the adjustment we have to make is we become sharper. Okay, we have to be sharper. If it gets more challenging, if the degree of difficulty continues to increase, all right, we just have to be sharper. That's how we can control. We can't control what the market does. All right, but we can control how sharp we're going to be. The setups we do decide to take, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the link to the Discord. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any questions? If we're at 150 likes, we will do the giveaway. If not, guys, have a great weekend. Rest, recharge, do the things you love. Stay away from the charts for at least 12 hours. For those of you who stayed away from the charts for 12 hours, last week you took me up on a challenge. I challenged you to stay away from the charts for 16 hours. Okay, so no charts, no nothing for 16 hours. For those of you who did 16 hours, see if you can do 24 hours. All right, just remove your mind from the charts, recharge, spend some time with your loved ones, do the things you really enjoy. All right, be a human again. Okay, and come back the next day. Come back on a Monday, sharp, filled up, and ready to go. Sunday night, we got Stocks After Dark. Okay, strikers, make sure to attend. That's been really helpful. Okay, so Stocks After Dark, we're going to go over what took place last week. We're going to go over the things to look for next week. I'm going to be holding my swing trade. Again, if you want to hold it, that's up to you. If you don't want to hold it over the weekend, you can cut it if you want. You can size down. It's currently down 6%. So it's still within the confines of my plan. So I'll stick with the swing trade, and I'll hold it over the weekend, and we'll see how it shapes up on Monday. Anything can happen. All right, anything can happen, but it's still within the confines of the risk and the nature of those swings, guys. You can't have those tighter stops. The stops on the swings have to be wider, upwards of 40, 50%, because there's less you can control. Right? So you can use less size, wider stop. All right. So again, as always, thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Get some rest. Monday, we do more battle. Strikers, Sunday night, between 7:30 or 8, I'll let you know, p.m. Eastern, we will do Stocks After Dark. Everyone else who wants to attend the webinar, Shockwave 15 webinar, I will post it on YouTube as well. The link on YouTube, I'll make an announcement, but the link is in the chat. As always, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Monday. Stay safe, and God bless each one of you.